So when I work with clients one-on-one, I guarantee to keep working with them until they've recouped the investment that they've made into my program. And the only way I could offer something like that is if I knew that there was a surefire way to make sure that they're going to make money with their coaching business. Because I obviously don't want to work with them forever, right? And the truth is that I do know a secret. And while this secret is powerful, it's also extremely obvious and it's right in front of our faces, so much that many people miss it when they're trying to get into this online coaching industry, and they kind of get distracted and go off in a lot of different ways when they're looking to make money with their business. So in this video, I'm going to share what this obvious secret is and show you how you can use it to make money and grow your coaching business predictably and with ease. My name is Brian Elwood. I'm a real estate investor turned online coach, and I'm also the author of Nail Your Niche. And I've helped dozens of clients go from 0 to 6 figures in their online coaching business. And that's exactly what I help you do as well here on this channel. So I've been in this online coaching education space for the better part of a decade. And I'll be honest with you, I've tried almost everything to succeed. I've built webinar funnels. I've done paid ads multiple times. I've created all these different lead magnets and gave them away. Got the Instagram account, the YouTube account, the Facebook, personal profile, and the group, and LinkedIn. Started a podcast, started an email list, low, mid, and high priced products, courses for $4.97, for $97, for $9.97. Did multiple launches. I've hired sales teams and setters. I mean, I've done all the things that they say you should do in order to succeed. And every time I tried a new thing, I was like, this is going to be the answer. This is going to be the one thing that just explodes my coaching revenue. The sad part is that none of those things actually worked that well. It turns out I didn't need any of that stuff that I just listed in order to not only make my first dollar in the online coaching space, but even grow to making 6 figures. It turns out that what I did need was way more simple than all of those other things. And if you're getting a little suspicious at this point, saying, if this is so simple, then why doesn't everyone just do it and everyone succeed? Well, that is a really good question. At the end of this video, I'm going to share a couple of major pitfalls that people run into when trying to execute this very simple, straightforward strategy. I ran into them myself, so stay tuned at the end. I'm going to go over what those are and what you can do to avoid them. All right, let's get into what this strategy actually is. So to talk about this, I like to think back to the days before the internet even existed. A lot of people don't know this, but coaching and consulting businesses have been around since the 70s and 80s. So how were all those people getting clients and making money before they even had the internet? You guys remember good old networking meetings? Those still go on today, but much less common than they used to. I'm 38 now, back when I was probably in my early 20s and I was getting started with all this stuff, I would go to those meetings. I remember going to some real estate investing meetups, and I had my stack of business cards ready that I spent so much time designing, but I was there shaking hands with people and I was trying to buy rental properties. I ended up meeting someone who loans money for rental properties, and the same for finding like a property manager, etc. Then after that networking meeting, all I did was email or call those people, and then we ended up having coffee. Those led to fruitful relationships that actually led to me not only buying some of the property that I own, but also being able to finance it and have it be professionally managed. So it all started with literally the most simple thing you can imagine, which is just talking and connecting with another human being. So to bring this back to where we are today, because we're not trying to go to networking events that much anymore, at least I'm not, when we have things like Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and all these cool ways to connect with the people that we want to be connected with. But there's a downside to this as well, and that's that those relationships, when you're just sending someone a message or commenting on a post or adding someone as a friend, they're way less meaningful than if you're actually in person shaking somebody's hand and getting to know them. So you have to do what it takes to escalate those relationships online. So I went to this really good marketing conference out in San Diego called the Traffic and Conversion Summit, put on by Digital Marketer. Ryan Deiss is the CEO of Digital Marketer. He said something at one of those events when he was speaking that has never left my mind. He said that sales follows the same process as a normal, healthy human relationship. Like for an intimate relationship, you might have met someone a few times and sort of got comfortable with them, and then maybe you might ask them to grab coffee and then grab lunch and then grab dinner. The next thing you know, you guys are living together and you got a kid on the way. And the clients that you want to pay you high ticket prices to work with you, they want it to feel that way too. They don't want to just stumble across you and then send you $5,000. You're way more likely to get a client if you respect that normal process that a healthy human relationship needs to go through. And so really your job as a coach who wants clients is to generate those relationships. It's to foster them and then nurture them. But the main lesson I want you to take away from this video is that sales always starts with a conversation. You know, it doesn't really ever happen without a conversation. Unless you have some huge following and you've been putting out content for a long time and you're really legit and you've built up tons of trust with people, you know, those people could blast an offer out to their email list for, you know, a few $1,000s and get a bunch of people to sign up. But if you're new and you don't have that street cred, you can't do that, right? So you have to look at each relationship on its own and nurture it and help people and grow those relationships in a normal, natural, healthy, human way, and then some of them will ultimately end up being your clients. Here's another important tip. You know how if you were on that coffee date with someone and you really liked them and the date came to an end, you kind of got to say, hey, I really had fun today. Would you be interested in seeing me again, you know, and maybe grabbing lunch sometime? Like it would be a huge waste of time if you went on that coffee date and everything was awesome and you were just like, all right, well, see you later. So you have to ask that question, even though it feels vulnerable and it does set you up to potentially get rejected. Well, in the same way, if you offer to do a call with someone that you met online and you want to do a Zoom call and get to know them and you talk for 15, 20, 30 minutes, at the end of that, if you feel like their goals are something you could really help with and if you really like them, then you have to give them the opportunity to potentially talk about working further. Here's a very simple script that I use at the end of those calls to gently extend the invitation to talk further about possibly working together. And you guys are welcome to steal this and use this on your calls. I enjoyed getting to know you today and learning more about your goals. I do have a program where I work with clients directly to help them achieve specific outcome that the person wants. Do you think it makes sense for us to book another time to go over the details of that and see if it would be a fit for you? So you're gently extending the invite. You're saying, hey, I think it might be a fit. Now you're letting them decide if they agree with you or not. They can say yes or no. And even if they're not ready now, a lot of people will be ready later. So it is important that you store people's contact information in a spreadsheet or a CRM so that you can follow up with them regularly. You have to know how to sell. At the end of the day, you have to make sales, and this is the fastest way to do it. Now, earlier we talked about how this strategy is so simple, and if so, then why don't more people do it? Well, there's a ton of reasons. I mean, me personally, I don't absolutely love the idea of waking up and having a ton of calls scheduled on my calendar. I like to go to the coffee shop and drink my coffee and read my books and, you know, write or script out my next video or work on a new online course. That's my absolute favorite thing to do. But the truth is I don't have a big enough following to just sit back, write, and sell those things and make the money that I want to make. And for the longest time, I also didn't really like sales because I was following all these spammy sales scripts and using these questions. It just felt very unnatural to me. Sometimes I would even try to posture up and act like I could do things that I wasn't 100% sure I could actually deliver on. And so it's these reasons that prevent people from executing on this. They either are too scared to reach out to somebody or to ask for that call where they're gonna make the sale, or they don't really like sales calls, or they're introverted. They don't like calls in the first place. You know, they might have imposter syndrome where they just don't feel confident or qualified to even be delivering this coaching program in the first place. All of those things lead to this ultimate procrastination where people just wake up and to work on their coaching business and they just avoid actually talking to people and making sales, and instead they work on 1,000 other stupid things that are never really going to make that big of a difference in the beginning. You don't need to tweak your damn funnel if you've got one person a month going through it. And if you want some help determining what you can sell with full confidence and just eliminate imposter syndrome, I definitely recommend grabbing a copy of my book. In chapter 10, I talk about nailing your promise. And your promise is that thing that you're offering to create for people, the outcome you're saying I can deliver when you're on those calls with people. You need to be 110% sure that you can get that outcome for people. Otherwise, people are gonna pick up on your lack of uncertainty, and most people are not gonna take out their wallet to pay you. Thank you guys for watching. And if you wanna learn all of what I call the 7 ingredients of a 6-figure online coaching business, you can check out this video here. Here's to your success, and I will see you there.